Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are just going to kind of ramble about a few things. I know I do these from time to time, but honestly, I just feel I need to do this. Friday, I had to go on about a 2-hour journey to see my endocrinologist. I think it was endocrinologist. It was a doctor because apparently right here where I live in a small area, rural, they don't feel like they should put doctors or anything here because hey, it's not worth you. Screw you for living in a rural area. But ignore my calendar and the fact that I haven't taken my decorations down. You'll see the little things hanging off my curtain rod there, and there's a little werewolf thing for Halloween. I still haven't taken down my decorations from October. I need to. I really do. But screw it. I know, like I said, I haven't changed my calendar. It's November. It's almost a weekend in November, actually. I think today is the 7th, so it's a weekend in November. But yeah, I haven't been able to get a whole lot done because I had to go to the doctor and it takes forever to go. I was wore out by 3, 4 p.m. I was like, anyway, let's talk about a few things. The election has happened. And today they have, the day of this filming of the video, which is on the 7th, Saturday, they announced Biden the winner. Although I've been saying for a while now, Biden is probably going to be the winner. It is not a mandate. Houses were lost by the Democrats in the House of Representatives. They still did not win the Senate, even though they gained, I think, 1 seat, something like that. So no, it is not a mandate. I've seen people pushing that stuff. No. Trump was one of the most hated presidents. Loved by his cult, but hated by most everybody else. But yeah, given all that, it is not a mandate. Unless we won the Senate, at least maintained the number of House seats, and Biden beat Trump by gaining like 400 electoral votes, then you could probably say mandate. But no, this was not. My hair's all over the place. This was not a mandate. Because let me tell you something. I dislike Biden. I dislike his policies immensely. I think neoliberalism is an evil. You know, when you are more worried about making money than helping your fellow man, yeah, that's not a good thing. Honestly. We should be working to end homelessness, to make sure, healthcare is available to everyone. Will not put them into the poorhouse. Will not cause them to go into debt. We can do this. We keep calling ourselves the greatest country in the world, but yet we're the only first world country that does not guarantee health care to its citizens. Why? Why? One reason. Greed. And one thing I hear by a lot of people is, Joe's a secret communist. He's a socialist. He'll put us into a communist nation. Really? Really? Because I live in a very red area on the political spectrum. And so a lot of these people I have on my social media, I hear this a lot. He's a communist. How? You do realize that only in America, Joe is considered left. By the rest of the world's standards, he's right of center. He would be considered a conservative. Hell, even Bernie is not this far out, way out of the way lefty. If you put him on like a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the least, or just barely left of center, and 5 being extremist, socialist, anarchist, whatever the other far left ideologies are, Bernie's about a 2. A 2. Yet, in America, he's projected as this great far left threat. But yeah, Biden, by the rest of the world's standards, center right. He is a corporate, as far as the economy goes, and socially, he's center right. So that's one thing that bugs me about the U.S. There is just a lack of actual knowledge and understanding because so much propaganda has been pumped in every way we receive information since about 1980, basically the year I was born. How do I know we are different? Because I've looked outside these sources. I've looked out at the rest of the world. I'm like, okay, yeah. The Overton window in the U.S. is pretty much on the right side by a bit. Quite a bit. And if you do not understand the Overton window, it basically just says, in this window is what this group sees as centrist or moderate. It's on the right side of the spectrum. It's not over here in the center. It's on the right side. So people were seeing this as centrist. But yeah. Anyway. I don't like Joe or his policies, but I despise Trump. And again, I live in a very red rural area, and there were so many Trump supporters, and he's like, I hear all the time and see on my social media, he's doing God's work. Really? Really? Hold on. Really? Okay. Okay. But yeah. Anyway, Biden won. I'm not happy, but I'm relieved. Biden's not great, but Trump is worse. And it's ridiculous that America, with 350 million people, are forced to vote between left and right, two sides, Democrat, Republican. When you have countries that are a fifth the size, less than a fifth the size of the U.S., Democratic countries that have 4 or 5 parties. And that's also part of the issue that goes on in America. And people will say, well, we've got green, we've got libertarian. We do. But they aren't going to get the attention until we make some changes in the way the elections are held. Because number one, to even get into the debates, I think it's 15% they're required to have. I forgot the group that controls the election setting, but it's like you've got to get 15% to even get on the debate stage for president. And the sad part is that organization that controls the debates is run by former Republicans and Democrats and people of wealth. Yeah, there needs to be serious change in that department. But anyway, that's all I'm going to speak on that. But let me veer off just slightly here to sort of a different topic, but along the same vein. The Electoral College, it needs to go. I understand why it was put in. They wish to avoid mob rule. But it's became a way to be abused for elitist rule. George W. Bush lost the popular vote to Al Gore in 2000, but he won the electoral vote, the Electoral College vote. George W. Bush became president. Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump in 2016 with the popular vote. But Trump won the Electoral College vote and became president. in 2016. So yeah, Electoral College has become a bit of an issue. All right. Now, I guess the third thing we're going to talk about today, so we can switch gears and talk about Full Gear. If you are a wrestling fan, you know AEW Full Gear is happening this weekend, which it'll already happen by the time this video comes out. But the final pay-per-view for AEW of 2020. It'll be interesting. They have a few interesting matchups. They have Orange Cassidy versus John Silver, number 4 of the Dark Order. I think Cassidy will win that. The Dark Order will probably come out and beat on them. Because when you have a collective of people like that, it never ends well if you come in solo. Even if Chuck T and Trent. Oh, I'm sorry, Chuck, for calling you Chunk. Chuck T and Trent come in. Even if they come in, I see a gang up by the Dark Order beating on Cassidy. I think Cassidy will probably win the match. But I think the Dark Order will come in and really beat on them afterwards. Hikaru Shida versus Nia Rose. I think these are without a doubt, the top 2 women in their women's division. Even by rankings, the number 1 contender versus the champion. I'm just talking about as far as performers go. I absolutely love Sheida as a champion. She is one of my favorites at AEW. I don't think she'll hold her title though against Nia Rose. I think with Vicky Guerrero at Nia Rose's side, Nia Rose will win that title back. And again, by the time you see this video, that pay-per-view will be already have played through. So I don't know yet. I'm recording this like 1:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. So I have no clue. But like I said, I predict Orange Cassidy to win his match, and I predict Nia Rose to win her match. I think Sheida will put up a good showing, but I think the Native Beast will win the title again. Because I think she is one of the most dangerous seeming performers in their women's stable. You know, she's the most intimidating, I guess you would say. So I feel Nia Rose will probably win that match. Let's see, what other matches are up? Cody versus Darby Allin. I kind of like Darby Allin. Cody's always been kind of interesting, but I think Cody will hold on to the belt. I don't think it'll be through Cody straight up beating Darby. Because right now, Darby is also on the side feuding with Team Taz, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. And I think they will be there for that match. We may see some interference. I don't think it'll be a disqualification through interference, but I think they may set the stage to take Darby out so Cody wins. Because they're really playing up how angry Ricky Starks and Taz are that just because Darby Allin won, he gets the title shot, and they didn't tell them beforehand that if Ricky had won, he would have got that title shot. So yeah, they're playing that angle up a lot, and I see them running in and doing enough damage to Darby that Cody wins the match. So yeah. What other matches do we have to look forward to? The world title match. Eddie Kingston, John Moxley. Watching Simon Miller today, Walk Culture, he did bring something to mind that I about forgot, but Eddie Kingston's little group, his family, consisting of the Lucha Bros and the Butcher and Blade, have kind of put a kink in the group Death Triangle, which was supposed to be Lucha Bros and Pac. I don't think Pac will interfere. I think Moxley will win, but Pac may make his presence known in some form or other. I don't know if it'll necessarily be he's there at ringside or backstage or something. But yeah, I think we may see more of Pac with this. So Jericho versus MJF. I think these are two of the great talents in AEW. Jericho, the elder statesman of AEW, MJF, the rising star, potential talent, whatever you want to say. I think they are both wonderful because they both play beautiful heels. Their abilities to play the heel roles are unprecedented. Don't know how MJF will do as playing babyface because he's never really. Well, there's nothing I've seen that he's played babyface. I've only watched a little bit of him in MLW, and then the rest has been in AEW. And he's been consistently heel. Maybe he can form a good babyface, but we know Jericho has the ability to go back and forth. But anyway, my pick, I think MJF will win. He'll get to be in the inner circle. And I think we will see a lot of hijinks, at least in the beginning, between Jericho and MJF, because this has been such fun watching them interact together. They do a wonderful job of interacting with each other on screen. Because you have two absolute stars. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I think MJF will win. And the last one we want to talk about today for the Full Gear pay-per-view, FTR and the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks have said if they lose, they will never again challenge for the tag team championships. Or if they don't win, which means even if they don't beat, or even if they don't get pinned or counted out or anything like that, if it ends up being a disqualification, they still no more tag team titles. Which says to me they will probably win it. I can't see them giving up any future title holding opportunities forever. I just can't see it. So yeah, I think it'll be the Young Bucks winning over FTR. But they have been teasing for a while a new Four Horseman. Or making it feel like there may be a new Four Horseman. And this may be like the trigger they need. And so we may see a new Horseman with Tully Blanchard playing the role of J.J. Dillon, the manager of the original Horseman, J.J. Dillon. Tully would be like him for the new Horseman, with FTR as the tag team specialists, Shawn Spears probably as part of it, and then who else? I don't know. Maybe a Cody Rhodes. But right now they're doing so much with the Nightmare family, I doubt that would happen. So it's kind of curious where they would go for the other Four Horsemen member. If that's where they decided to go. But yeah, those are my picks for Full Gear this weekend. And some talks about some politics that have been going on and what's been going on in general. But yeah, as always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.